going on, guys? Dennis here. I wanted to do a quick impromptu video that I did not plan to do. I'm actually taking a walk here in the yard. I didn't get much fresh air today. I've been indoors working on some stuff and editing videos and that sort of thing. I'll probably go for a run later, but I want to do a video that I'll probably do a part 2 on, actually. And that's the importance of who you keep around. I'll start off by saying this. It is much better to be alone than to have people around you that don't serve you, that drain your energy, that create a negative environment, that are in your life just to take from you, create drama and problems and that sort of thing. This is something that kind of comes normal, kind of not normal, but natural to me. But I've had my own personal experience of, people that I'd had to intentionally disassociate myself from. And that comes from having standards, right? And just knowing what you're going to deal with, what you're not going to deal with, where your boundaries are, where the lines are. Having a perspective of what you want your life to look like. In terms of peace and mental health and stability and that sort of thing. If you're a person that wants to be stable, to have happiness and joy in your life and around you, to have people that are loyal, that you can trust, that are great to be around, that are good energy, then it's important that you take count of who you have around you regularly. And not only because, there's a saying, right? You take the five people that you spend the most time with. You're going to make an average of those five people monetarily, right? But more important than money are the habits that you're going to pick up, the thought process and beliefs that they have that are going to kind of fall on you. You're going to integrate consciously or subconsciously. Just that alone is enough to get people out of your life that shouldn't be there, because you don't want to take on habits and mentalities from people that are not going to serve you. And you can tell people hang out with other like-minded individuals, right? Like-minded individuals. And so if you're a certain way and you hang out with people that are just like that, what ends up happening is you are just further confirming your mentality and your beliefs and your behaviors. And so it gets harder to see if you have any issues with that, if those are things that are not serving you, because you're around other people that are just like that and you feel like you fit in, right? And so you can also pick up negative behavior and thought patterns from other people, and that's going to slow your progress down if you're trying to pursue goals or trying to build a certain type of life and lifestyle. And so I would highly recommend that you take count of who you have around you and ask yourself, is this person bringing more into my life than they're taking? Do I have this person around because I'm scared to be alone? Or because I've known them for a long time? There are people that could be the closest to you that could be the most damaging. Friends, family, significant other, right? You might be in a relationship where the person that you're with you can't talk to because you feel like they may be disloyal, or you can't trust them, or they changed, or they've just done and said things to you that you can't ignore, right? And I've heard it this way: some people might be watching the video and might be doing what's called sleeping with the enemy. I've been in that position, right? And you never really know who you're dealing with until it's time to cut everything off. Some people might have friends that you've known for a long time, and you may have drifted apart, or they're being a particular way that you can't get behind, right? And you don't want to be associated with that. So you cut them off. And so it's important to start from scratch. The foundation is to learn how to live on your own, be on your own in your own company. And once you enjoy that, then you can build from there. But a lot of people have a lot of friends and a lot of associates around all the time that masks their own issues, right? And it's better to have a few people around you, your mastermind team, your few people that support you, that you can talk to about the specific things that are important to you, and to have 50 people that you don't really know who you're dealing with, right? And that's critical. That's been very, very helpful to me because it keeps things simple and clear cut, who I talk to about certain things and who I don't talk to about certain things. Some people, I'm gonna tell you, this is a big one right here. If you're trying to progress in life and you have goals and you're working on stuff, you have to be very careful who you talk to about your plans. I've heard it put this way: if you tell the plan, you plan to fail, right? That's big. I've learned that personally. Sometimes you have a good idea or you're excited about something and you talk to people that try to talk you right out of it. Or they bring negativity to you, or they talk crap about you to other people, right? And they try to make fun of you about certain things. You gotta be very careful who you talk to about your plans. Some people will try to sabotage your plans before you even start. And that's also like a behavior pattern too. The need to get validation or prove something to all these people that you're trying to work on something. It is way better to work on something in the silence of your own room, in your own life, than to be running around telling people what you're gonna do. Because what ends up happening is if you don't accomplish those things fast enough or the way that you thought you would, well, then you have a group of people that are waiting for you to produce some type of result, or you may give them ammo in the case that you change directions for them to say, oh, I knew he wasn't gonna do this, or I knew she wasn't gonna do that, right? Be very careful who you tell your plans to. You cannot talk to everyone. Do not assume everyone is just as happy for you or is as supportive as you think they would be and should be. That's really important. I actually did a video on this, probably like 2 years ago. Whatever you're working on, chances are there's only going to be a handful of people that are going to support that. And you should only tell people about things that are important to you that also are playing the same game. If you find that you have people that you don't connect with, don't tell people what you're working on. They don't need to know. That's your business. Right? But to get more into the main topic that I was talking about, keep your circle clean. It's called getting the squares out of your circle. You don't need 50 people around you. Those 50 people don't have your back. Run lean. You run lean, then you know who's with you, who's not with you, and who you're coming up. You got to stay down with the people you come up with. And you got to know who those people are, so later on you keep them around. Right? Because you know they were there when you were on the come up. They seen all the problems and all the stuff. Because it's very easy later when you pop in. And everyone wants to get to know you. Everyone wants to be around you, right? Naturally. But then you don't know who's who. If all you do is talk to people when everything's good, you don't know who's who, why people are in your life, for what reason. And that's super important. It's important to keep things simple and clean. It also buys you time. Sometimes you have people around you that are just draining your time and your energy, and that's not important, right? That's not helpful to you at all. So what ends up happening is you have people around that are literally just draining your energy, and you're not getting shit done because you got too many people around trying to fight for your attention and your mind. And so that's something that's been very helpful to me. Staying lean, I can count the number of people on my hand that I talk to about important shit. And that's probably how it's always gonna be. Because you gotta know where you stand and where other people stand in terms of the important things that you're doing in your life. Right? There's people you can't talk to about your relationships right? I wouldn't recommend talking to many people about your relationship anyway. Like significant relationships with a significant other. Keep that under wraps. I heard it put this, keep, if you want to keep Bay off social media, right? Keep your important stuff under wraps. Don't put your business or your relationships on social media. That's a fool's game. Social media is a double-edged sword. But the biggest part about all this is to make sure that you keep your energy right. I brought on a lot of stress and struggle and frustration in my life by keeping some people in my life longer than they needed to be. And this is kind of more the point of the video for those of you that may have a similar situation. And this isn't something that I'm currently going through or anything like that, but just kind of recollecting on some of my past experiences. But you have to have the ability to cut people out. If you're too scared to be alone, you're gonna have people in your life a lot longer than they should be, and they're just taken from you, right? They're anchors in your life. Anchors. You don't want to carry dead weight. Some people are just around you because they know that you're gonna blow up, or that gives them confidence. They like being around somebody that's trying to do some stuff. But if they're not they're not playing that game too, then you're just slowing down to let them catch up, or they try to use you and leverage your energy, or look good through association. They got to bring something to the table too. And this goes, I mean, I could talk about this for hours, right? There's guys that will get with women because they're hot, they're bad, right? But really what she got is a bad attitude. That's what's bad about her, right? And you keep her around because she's hot and you want to look good in front of your friends or whatever. But when you're dealing with her, she's draining you, bro. Right? Arguing and a bad attitude and negative. Or you can't talk to her about what's important, or she's an airhead. Right? There's people that you got to be able to see what they bring to the table early on, so you know if they qualify to eat at your table or not. Right? I'll take a chick that is not as attractive to me or my type, but has a good head on her shoulders and doesn't bring me problems and can have a conversation and can bring something to the table over a girl that's a 10. So all she brings is problems, right? I've been in that situation. I've heard it put this way: an experiment or a mistake is an experiment gone too long. And hopefully as you get older, you start picking up the signs much sooner so you don't make a mistake. It's okay to experiment, bring people in your life and see what they're about, but keep them at arm's length until they prove over a significant amount of time that they're worth being around you, right? And when you have that self-respect and that standard of who you're going to keep around you and who you're not going to deal with, it becomes easier. It becomes easier because you can pick up really, really quickly who's who and who's not. I've had plenty of people who I've known for years, and we were super, super cool, or we had a really good relationship, and I had to cut them off. That's something that's always been easy to me, and it's been much easier as I progress in my own journey of personal growth and stuff. But don't keep people around just because you've known them for a long time. Don't keep people around because you grew up together. Don't keep people around just because they're family. Just because they're family doesn't mean they're loyal. And just because everything's good now doesn't mean it's always going to be good with those people, right? And sometimes you grow apart, and you also have to be able to know if you're growing apart and if that's affecting you negatively.
And another interesting part that I want to mention is in terms of your energy. If you watched any of my other videos, I've talked about this, and some of you may be into this or have encountered other channels talking about it. But by having people around that are negative and it weighing down on you, it affects your energy, your frequency, your vibration, your resonance. in terms of law of attraction. And so I realized that when I was in a situation where I had a certain someone draining my energy, right? Just even their presence, it got to a point where even their presence was just so draining and toxic that I don't even know how I didn't get sick. And we deal with this in a very, very prolonged way. And I realized very, very quickly how different it was without that person around. That was toxic, and you could even feel it physically in your body. The tension, the pressure, the frustration, the negativity, the stress on your body, on your mind, and your emotions when you have people around that really affect you negatively. And that's why it's important to be careful about who you have around, because the closer the person is to you, the more they can affect you. And the reason why I have 2 videos on my channel right now where I go over emotional detachment techniques and that sort of thing, and the concept of emotional detachment. And I've talked about this topic in other videos as well. And those videos came about because of these experiences, right? That's when I realized, and I reflected on myself, and I became aware of what was actually going on and how I could not continue, being in that position, that it wasn't healthy, it wasn't smart, and it was affecting my attraction, right? What I'm working on, what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to, build something positive and move forward and progress in my own stuff while being inundated with the pressure and attention that's completely negative, right? And so I had to value my point of attraction, my emotions, my mental health and peace of mind over everything. And that's been significant, right? And when you have those personal experiences, that line of what you're willing to deal with and what you're not willing to deal with shifts, right? Because then at a personal level, I'm not doing this again. And you learn what you need to learn, right? And that's why I'm doing this video. I've learned things that I want to pass on that through reflection, through research, through analyzing, through awareness, right? I've moved through and have gained some insights. And so it's critical. It's critical that you just be careful who you have around. That's not something you've heard this before in other ways, in other videos, and other mediums. You don't play around with that. You bring the wrong people into your life, you are also bringing much more than just them. It'll halt your progress and your goals. It's going to affect your point of attraction. It's going to affect your mood, your decisions, the way that you think. You may take on negative behaviors and thought processes, and that's going to slow you down even more. It's just a host of things that come around you when you integrate people and allow people to be around you that should not be around you. So the standard has to increase so that you can keep your life light and free and simple. Life is simple when you simplify it. How do you simplify it? By learning these things so that you don't bring problems into your life and wonder where they're coming from. It's by running lean. It's by gaining more awareness and alignment and enlightenment to what's important, what not to do, what to do. It's about learning from your own experiences and experiences of others, and really having a vision for what you want your life to look like, right? When I envision what I want my life to look like, or what I know it's going to be, what it is now, essentially, and will continue to be, is one that's light and free and simple, not bogged down by negativity or people hating on me or trying to slow me down or dealing with people's shit or drama or none of that. You just have to have a certain standard of what you're not going to deal with, because it doesn't align with what you want your life to look like. It doesn't align with what you want your personal reality to be. And so you work backwards from that. And so you're constantly filtering who in your space needs to be there and who doesn't need to be there. There has to be an equal exchange of value, right? They have to bring something to the table. You have to bring something to the table. It can't just be you bringing something to the table and they're around because they're hungry. Everyone's hungry, but you got to be careful who sits at your table, because they're not just sitting at your table, they're integrating themselves into your life, right? And I realized when I started weeding people out, I realized and I reconfirmed my own personal boundaries of what I will and will not deal with, right? Those have gotten strengthened, right? The bar gets set higher. As I progress, the bar also gets higher and higher and higher, right? And then your threshold for dealing with crap goes down, right? It is beautiful when you have people around you that are fun to be around. Their energy is positive. You're always on the same page. You guys understand each other. You know they're not talking shit about you behind your back. You can spend time together. They can invite you over. You go out for drinks, whatever. You go get food together. And just as a flow, it's an energy flow, right? And we are all equipped to know when we don't vibrate with somebody. That's where the word vibe comes from. I don't vibe with this person. I get bad vibes. I feel some kind of way about this person. I don't like the way this person's energy is, right? You can pick that up, and you have to develop that faculty, and it's there for a reason. With that being said, guys, I hope you got something out of this video. I don't want to make it super long. If you have any comments or questions or concerns, feel free to leave them below, whether you're watching this on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, or my website. And I'll be sure to get back as soon as possible with you. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video. And if you want to see more videos like this much more regularly, I suggest you turn on the notifications, because the video game is heavy right now. In the next video, turn the music on.
So tell me what you wanna do. Do you wanna be like everybody, focusing on money, getting power, and better than we gotta do? But you gotta take control back out of the office, show them that we got more power. Cause united we all stand, but divided we all yeah. Most of y'all know that line, but don't care. Y'all scared of who you are. How can that be? You incarnated in this planet from the stars just like me.